Starting with the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent and the most merciful. Dear students, in the previous lectures we have already studied about writing the literature review and data collection tools, primary and secondary data collection tools we have already discussed in the previous lecture. In this lecture we are going to study about reference styles. When you are writing a research report, you are writing a thesis, or you are writing a research paper, you need to give references and bibliography at the end. There are three different types of references. One is MLA style, other is APA reference style, and the third one is Chicago style. The most famous and important style which is currently in fashion in research is the APA reference style, which is mostly being used in writing research reports and research papers. In this lecture, we would try to understand what is APA and how to use it in your research. First of all, let's try to understand what is APA. APA actually is an abbreviation of the American Psychological Association. This is a citation style, the most commonly used format for manuscripts in the social sciences. English language and linguistics is a subject of social sciences. So, mostly used reference style or citation style in social sciences is APA. So, we also use APA style mostly in our research work, our thesis and research papers. APA regulates stylistics, in-text citations, and references. Now let's try to understand what type of language should be used in APA style. Language in an APA paper is clear, concise, and plain. When we say that the language should be clear, that means be specific in description and explanation. Use such language which gives clearly the same concept which you want to give. Do not use such kind of language which is ambiguous or which has double meanings. When we say that use concise language, that means condense information when you can. Means try to give information in the fewest possible words. Write your research report in a concise and precise form, like the summary. And use simple language, plain language, descriptive adjectives, and minimize figurative language. This is the rule of writing research report, that try to use the language which is very simple and plain, so that if a person who is not from your subject or your department, if he studies your manuscript, your research paper or thesis, he should understand each and everything. It should be well explained by using simple language. Do not use figurative language or technical terms in your research work. Types of APA papers. There are two different types of APA papers that is given here. First, the literature review, and second, the experimental report. Literature review based papers are such papers which contain a summary of what the specific literature says about the topic of your research. It includes a title page, introduction, and list of references. The experimental paper or experimental report describes your experimental research. It includes a title page, abstract, introduction, research method, results, discussion, list of references, appendixes, tables, and figures. Types of APA papers. If your paper fits neither of the categories above, follow the general format. Consult the instructor. Consult the APA publication manual that may be available online. Let's try to understand the general format which we need to follow when we are using APA citation style in our research. Your essay should, here essay means your manuscript, your paper or your thesis, should be typed and double spaced be printed on standard size paper. Mostly in research we use A4 size paper. Here is the measurement that is given for the paper to be used, that is standard size for being used in research. And the line space should be double. And your manuscript should be in the typed form. Use 1 margins on all sides. Use 10 to 12 font size and Times New Roman font style or a similar font. Include a page header or title in the upper left hand of every page and a page number in the upper right hand side of every page. Note, if you are writing a manuscript draft, APA suggests using 2 spaces between sentences to aid readability. You can read it in detail in the APA manual that is available online. General format. Your essay should include 4 major sections. First, the title page. Second, abstract. Abstract is the summary of your work. Third is the main body, in which you would give more details about your work, and at the end there would be references. Title page, page header would be given. Use insert page header, title flush left and page number flush right. So the title should be in the left side and the page number should be visible on the right side in the header of the page. Title in the upper half of the page, centered. So the title would be centered. Name, no title or degree, plus affiliation means university. You would write your name and your university in which you are studying. This would be the title page. Next is the abstract page. Page header. Do not include running head. Abstract would be centered at the top of the page. We would give the heading of abstract in the center on the top of the paragraph, that is abstract paragraph. Write a 150 to 250 word summary of your paper in an accurate, concise and specific manner. Abstract is actually the summary of your work. What is your research, how you conducted it, your research method, your results briefly, and conclusion. Main body, text. Number the first text page as page number 3. Type and center the title of the paper centered at the top of the page. Type the text double spaced with all sections following each other without a break. Identify the sources you use in a paper in parenthetical in-text citations. Format tables and figures. So it was all about the main body of text, how you would be writing the main body In the next is reference page. Reference the title, center the title, references. So in some other styles, like in MLA or Chicago, in some other styles we write bibliography, but in APA style we write references. At the top of the page, do not bold it, so you would not be going to bold it. Double space reference entries, you will give double space in between the lines, and then flush left the first line of the entry and indent subsequent lines. As you can see in this photo, the first line is starting from the left and the other lines are indented. So this is the way we use in APA style. Order entries alphabetically by the author's surnames. So when you are writing the references, you would set the entries alphabetically. Means the author's name which are starting from A would be given at the top, and after that the names starting from B or C or D, so you would order them alphabetically. Surname is called the second name or the last name. Last name is actually called the surname. In research we use surname. Say for example, my name is Shahida Naz, Dr. Shahida Naz. We would skip the title. We would not use Dr. Shahida Naz. We would use Shahida Naz. And when we are giving reference, we would use my surname, my last name, that is Naz. And then maybe we can use comma and then Shahida's S in capital and then a dot. Reference basics. Invert authors' names. Last name first followed by initials. Smith, comma, then J dot Q dot. So last name is used in research, and the first and second name, their initial is only used, and then dot is used. This is the way how you give references in APA style. Alphabetize reference list entries and last name of the first author of each word. So your reference list should be set or organized alphabetically. Capitalize only the first letter of the first word of a title and subtitle. The first word after a colon or a dash in the title. The proper nouns. Do not capitalize the first letter of the second word in a hyphenated compound word. Capitalize all major words in journal titles. When you are writing the journal title, then you would capitalize all major words. Italicize titles of longer works such as books and journals. Do not italicize, underline, or put quotes around the title of shorter works such as journal articles or essays in edited collections. Making the references list. APA is a complex system of citation. When compiling the reference list, the strategy below might be useful. Number 1, identify the type of source. Is it a book, a journal article, a web page? Number 2, find a sample of citing this type of source in the textbook or in the OWL APA guide. That is the link given here for detailed study. Excuse me. Number 3, mirror the sample. Number 4, make sure that the entries are listed in the alphabetical order and the subsequent lines are indented, as we have studied in the APA reference basics about the indenting things. In-text citation basics. In-text citation helps readers locate the cited sources in the references section of the paper. Whenever you use a source, provide in parentheses the author's name and the date of publication. For quotations and close parentheses, provide the author's name, date of publication, and a page number. In-text citations, formatting quotations. When quoting, introduce the quotation with a signal phrase. Make sure to include the author's name, the year of publication, the page number, but keep the citation brief. Do not repeat the information. Careth 1996 states that traumatic response frequently entails a delayed, uncontrolled, repetitive appearance of hallucination and other intrusive phenomena. Page number 11. This is one example of giving quotation, and the other is a traumatic response frequently entails a delayed, uncontrolled, repetitive appearance of hallucinations and other intrusive phenomena. Then name of the author, year of publication, and page number is given at the end. So the second one is more concise form of quotation, which is mostly recommended in APA style. In-text citation, formatting a summary or parenthesis. Provide the author's last name and the year of publication in parentheses after a summary or a paraphrase. Though feminist studies focus solely on women's experiences, they are by collectively perpetuating the masculine-centered impressions. Fossil 1975. This is an example of giving summary or paraphrase some information. So you would give the summary or paraphrasing of one concept, and at the end you would be giving writer name, then comma, then year of publication in the parenthesis. When including the quotation in a summary or paraphrase, also provide a page number in parentheses after the quotation. You can also write like, according to feminist researchers Reid and Tate, 1997, it is no longer true to claim that women's responses to the war have been ignored. Page number 2. This is another way in which you can use to give summary or paraphrase. In-text citation, signal words. Introduce quotations with signal phrases. For example, according to, then writer name, then in parenthesis the year of publication, then give quotation. After giving the quotation, at the end you would be giving the page number in parenthesis. Likewise, you can first give author name, after that year of publication, and then you can argue that, then you can quote what he said, and then page number would be written. Use such signal verbs as acknowledged, contented, maintained, responded, reported, argued, concluded, etc. Use the past tense or the present perfect tense of verb in signal phrases. When you are writing literature review or you are giving reference of something, try to use past tense or try to write it in present perfect tense, because that is already done and you are giving the reference only, and the activity was done in the past. In text citation, two or more works. When you are citing two or more works, then you would use semicolon between the two author names. Here is an example of a quotation and citation of two works. When the parenthetical citation includes two or more works, order them in the same way they appear in the reference list. The author's name, the year of publication, separated by a semicolon. Here is an example. Kachru, name of the author, then comma, and then year of publication 2005. This is one work, and it is separated from the other work that is written by Smith in 2008, and semicolon is used between them to separate them. In text citation, a work with two authors. When citing a work with two authors, use and in between author names in the signal phrases, yet and between their names in parentheses. There are two different ways which we can use to quote the work with two authors. For example, according to feminist researchers Reid and Tate 1997, it is no longer true to claim that women's responses to the war have been ignored, page number 2. And other way is some feminist researchers question that women's responses to the war have been ignored, Reid and Tate 1997, page number 2. So in the second quotation, writer name is and page number and year of publication is given at the end of the page. In text citation, a work with 3 or 5 authors. When citing a work with 3 or 5 authors, identify all authors in the signal phrase or in parentheses. Like the example is given here. Harklau, Siegel, and Lucy 1999. In subsequent citations, only use the first author's last name followed by et al. In the signal phrase or in parentheses, like Harklau et al. 1993. So, when you are giving a reference first time in your research, you are citing a work that is written by 3 or 5 authors, then first time citation you would give names of all authors, and when you are giving reference of the same second or third time in the text, you would only quote first author's name, and then et al., then dot and a comma, and then year of publication would be written. In text citation, a work with 6 or more authors, what you would be doing when you have to give a reference or you have to cite a work that is written by 6 or more authors. When citing a work with 6 or more authors, identify the first author's name followed by et al. You would not use all 6 names of the authors. You would use only the name of the first author, like Smith, and then et al., and year of publication, like 2006. Maintain that, and then you would be giving the quotation, or you would be giving the reference of what you want to give. You can write Smith et al. And then year of publication 2006 at the end of your quotation. In text citation, a work of unknown author. Sometimes it happens that you want to give reference or citation of a work whose author is unknown. What you would be doing in that case, when citing a work of unknown author, use the source's full title in the signal phrase and cite the first word of the title followed by the year of publication in parentheses. Put titles of articles and chapters in quotation marks, italicize titles of the books and reports. For example, according to Indiana Jones Federal Accountability System 2008 or Indiana 2008, you would write the name of the book if the author is not known, the full name. In-text citations organizations. When citing an organization, mention the organization the first time when you cite the source in the signal phrase or in the parenthetical citation. For example, the data collected by the Food and Drug Administration 2008 confirmed that if the organization has a well-known abbreviation includes the abbreviation in brackets the first time the source is cited and then use only the abbreviation in the later citations. For example, Food and Drug Administration FDA confirmed, FDA's experts tested something, etc. In-text citation, the same last name, the same author. When there is the same last name of two authors, or there is the same author who you are quoting, then what technique you would be using? When citing authors with the same last name, use first initial with the last name so that the reader should understand that these two are different, like B. Kachru and 2005 and Y. Kachru 2008. Y. Kachru is someone whose first name starts from Y, and B. Kachru, his initial starts from B. So these are two different authors. When citing two or more works by the same author published in the same year, use lowercase letter a, b, c with the year of publication to order the references. For example, Smith's 1998 A, Study of Adolescent Immigrants. Personal communication. When citing reviews, letters, emails, etc., include the communicator's name, the fact that it was personal communication, and the date of communication. Do not include personal communication in the reference list. A.P. Smith also claimed that many of her students had difficulties in AP style personal communication, November 3, 2002, or E. Robbins, Personal Communication, January 4, 2001. Electronic sources. When citing an electronic document, whenever possible, cite it in the author's date style. If electronic sources lacks page number, locate and identify paragraph number or paragraph heading. For example, according to Smith 1997, Mind over Matter section, paragraph 6. Here is the detail about APA headings. But we are running short of time and our lecture time is already over. So we are stopping our lecture here, and further we would study in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.